So speaking of SJWs,
Yeah, that's a topic I always talk about.
I only broadly related. Oh, geez, jump around, why don't you, man? So have you ever played? This is a loaded question. Have you ever played Life is Strange?
No, I haven't played it, but I watched a full playthrough of it.
Sure. Okay.
So with that, I know everything about it. So.
I've been playing that over the past couple days, and I just finished it last night. And of course that's kind of a polarizing game in the the current
Polarizing.
the joke there for people who don't know is that
Because it takes place in the Arctic.
Okay, I'll leave that as it is. So, yeah, for the gaming community right now, that's kind of it's a very divisive
Dragon
type.
attack.
Oh, hello. Thank you for killing them for us, Sir Dragon. I appreciate that. Life is Strange is very frequently seen as a quote-unquote SJW game because it focuses on high school kids and has a girl with blue hair in it.
I was about to mention, is it because it has a character with blue hair?
Yeah, it has a girl with blue hair. So obviously it's an SJW game.
Obviously.
But yeah, I played it and like I more or less played it straight through, which is oh yeah, thank you for the pleasant singing. Which is, as I've mentioned before, very strange for me. Like I don't use if a game gets me to kind of like focus in really hard on it and just play like almost exclusively that for a couple days, like it's something that I really enjoyed. So by that token, I think people can probably infer what my opinions on Life is Strange are.
By the way, I want to point out the gimmick
Ah.
that these enemies have. You have to destroy their physical bodies you have to find them first, and then the actual things that attack you, they manifest and do something you can attack.
Interesting. Huh. I can.
Oh, and they're actually, you destroy the physical thing, they don't reset after you hit a bonfire, so they're like this forever now.
I can appreciate that. But yeah, so I just beat Life is Strange last night, and I know the ending of the game is another part. Like, there are a lot of people who kind of like just ditched it after the second or third episode because they didn't like the writing. I was okay with it, actually, and I kept playing through because, you know, I was digging it. It was my kind of jam. And so for the people who like stuck it through to the end, the ending of the game was another point that people were kind of 50-50 on whether they liked it or not. Because one thing that I find very strange is that a lot of people seem to have the misconception that games which give you choices throughout the course of the game and tout the fact that your choices will have consequences seem to believe that those consequences are only going to ever show up at the very end of the game, and they're all going to add up into a 100% unique ending that is unique to you based on everything you've done throughout the course of the game.
What does this have to do with SJWs?
The fact that Life is Strange is an SJW game, clearly.
Gotcha.
It's I'm not saying it's a logical argument. But no, it's okay. Let's invoke the pure unfiltered rage of the internet here. It's the issue that people had with Mass Effect 3. Is that people seem to have a misconception that choice and consequence games mean that all of your choices and consequences are going to add up to a unique ending, when that is not what they say, and that is not what they mean, and that's not what they do. It's not ever what they've done.
Well, I think for, by the way,
Welp.
so that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Exploding chest.
Trap got us. How interesting.
It got us really good.
Yeah. That's
anyway,
okay, we're back.
well, I don't know if like it's the exact same thing for Mass Effect 3. Well, first off, my entire experience for Mass Effect 3 was terrible. I don't like the game at all, and that's not even including the ending. But anyway, for Mass Effect 3, it's, I don't know, it just feels like that series is more catered towards like, oh, your consequences matter and stuff. And then the ending didn't really show any of that.
But that's my point, is that it doesn't mean, like, consequences do not mean you're going to see everything adding up to a final big consequential, like, reveal at the very end of the game. That's not what they're designed to do. Like, the consequences of your actions impact the little things that you see throughout the course of the games.
Yeah, but I feel like Mass Effect 3 is more like advertised as such, that you get to see what happens at the end.
I disagree. I believe that that's what the internet told itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same thing throughout the course of the first two games. Like, you never get a 100% unique... it's a different trap this time. Like, the biggest difference that happens throughout the entire course of the Mass Effect series is that you can get through the suicide mission in 2 with any number of your crew members still alive. Like, that's the one major, like, impact that your choices actually have that could change the course of, like, the story. And even then, it's not that big of an impact, because they just kind of gloss over that stuff in the following, like, subjects anyway. Like the death of Ashley or Kaidan in the first game doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. Like, if Ashley dies, Kaidan is basically the same thing. And if Kaidan dies, Ashley is basically the same thing. Like, that seems like whenever a game has, who are you gonna save? Who are you gonna kill off? Like, eventually those two characters are just gonna combine into one anyway. Yeah, and so like when they reappear in Mass Effect 2, like,
yeah, they do the exact same thing.
Yeah, they're the same character.
They just swap the player models.
Yeah, so it's like, so by that token, I was not nearly as frustrated with Mass Effect 3 as a whole lot of other people were, because the overarching, like, things that happen in the Mass Effect series never change. They don't, like, your choices don't matter that much. It's the little things that change around. So that's, bringing it back around, that's kind of the same discussion that I saw surrounding the ending of Life is Strange. And like, I've seen the same thing for, like, The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead and all those other Telltale games, where people seem to believe that all of these games that, like, tout their choice and consequence systems think that the ending of the game is the thing that needs to change the most significantly, rather than the journey you have throughout the game. So I think that's why I'm kind of okay with the predictable and kind of endings that Life is Strange has, because...
Which ending did you choose?
Both of them.
Both? Oh wait, so you just reloaded your save file and it shows the other one?
Okay, so what I decided for my quote-unquote canon ending...
Okay, well, this will be the first one you chose, right?
Yes, and the one that I ended up going with kind of finally.
Okay.
I chose to be selfish. You should know what I mean by that. I don't know if people who have not played
killed the entire town.
Thank you for spoiling it.
Dude, if anyone really cared, they would have known by now.
I don't know about that. Like, I only just barely started playing the game.
It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I only just started playing it 3 days ago. So
Yeah, but did you really care?
I did. That's actually my main point for like bringing this up is that when I went back to do the other ending, it hit me harder than any other game has since Persona 4. And
The sadness of it?
just like how well done the ending was to me, like how because of how much I felt the like attachment between the characters throughout the course of the game, and how much I personally like was invested in the characters. The ending where you aren't selfish and where you go back in time to let everything kind of play out the way that it was supposed to originally. It was a very well made ending, in my opinion. Like I think it was very poignantly done.
By the way, which part of Persona 4 were you talking about?
Just like by the
ending.
Yeah, like the end of Persona 4 is one of the only games that I've ever played that I didn't want to finish the game because I didn't want it to be over.
Okay.
And so it's like the final cutscene of Persona 4 is one of the only times that
after the true ending.
Yeah, well, yes. The true ending of Persona 4 is one of the only times that I have ever like actually choked up at a video game. And that's kind of the same level of emotional response that I got out of the fix everything ending in Life is Strange, because it was just a very powerful sequence to me, and it really spoke to me kind of like on a personal level because of my own experiences that I've had growing up and with my close friends. And
yeah, I've had many hurricanes ravage my village.
Not the hurricane, the friends.
Okay.
When you
I once had many blue-haired friends in my lifetime as well.
Well, yes. That happened a lot in high school because there were a lot of people who wanted to be seen. And so that was a fun time. But yeah, it really hit me pretty hard, and so I was like, "Oh, hello, dude. Thank you."
How are these guys?
So it was like, I can kind of get past how obviously telegraphed the endings were, because I just think they were done well. Like they didn't leave me feeling kind of like, oh, that was it, okay. Which I'm sure some other people probably.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are
feel that way.
Their
Yeah.
response.
But yeah, for me,
when I saw the ending, I wasn't. I obviously didn't have the same response as you.
Well, I also think it's probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, I can kind of attest firsthand, at least in my case, when you're just watching something, you don't get kind of the same level of investment in general.
I know,
particularly,
but like, I don't know if that's entirely the case for a game that's almost entirely narrative.
Well, I would say it's particularly the case with games that are like built on their narratives, because you're not personally making any of the decisions if you're just watching a playthrough. And like you could be watching a playthrough where the player is making the same decisions you would, but you're still not the one making those choices.
Well, my point is that
okay.
Out of the two endings you could have gone for Life is Strange, I would definitely go for one. I would never go for the other.
So one thing I'll say about the game itself is that the developers themselves have apparently admitted that they kind of ran out of time and money when they were making the second ending, which is the one where you blow everything up.
That makes me think that there was going to be more endings.
Yeah, there have been kind of some reports that like they wanted to have more, like they wanted to have
36 different endings.
Well, I don't know how many unique endings they wanted, but they apparently wanted like just more like stuff to kind of alter in certain endings depending on like what you chose and what you did. But
certain people survived during the hurricane or something.
Yeah, and just like certain different little changes that could happen even within the two endings that were already in the game. But they ran out of time and money, and they were just like, well, we gotta get this out the door.
I'm not really sure what's really stopping them from just updating the game and just add more endings.
Money again. It's not really cost effective to just, you know, when you need to find new work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, I don't think that's going to bring in any more sales.
Yeah. So it is very obvious that like they didn't have enough, whether it be time, money, or both. They didn't have enough of something to put in as much effort into the blow everything up ending. So it feels a little bit more brief and hollow as compared to the other one.
Yes.
So by that token, it like a sentiment that a lot of people shared is that like it seems like the game wants you to pick the sacrifice your best friend ending.
That's the ending I would choose.
And that's the one that like, yeah, it's a very well made like ending sequence, at least in my opinion. At the same time, there were also just to laugh at people because I am a jackass. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of people who said, "Oh, well, why can't you just go back in time and sacrifice yourself so that she doesn't have to die?" And it's like, first of all, in a game that's already cribbing heavily from the butterfly effect, do you really want them to literally rip off the ending of the butterfly effect? And second of all, that would be even more predictable than the ending that they already had, and it still wouldn't solve the actual issue, which is the fact that, like, the game, like, throughout the entire course of the game, it's building up the, like, thematic elements of destiny and fate. Which, like, you can't change, or you shouldn't be able to change fate. And it's like, the kind of two divergent lines are that fate is either deciding that your best friend needs to die or this entire town needs to die. Like, that's kind of the two big like things that it's sort of pushing forward on the player.
I want to see the stats on that. Like, how many people actually survive an entire town to save their girlfriend?
Well, at this point, the stats are very skewed anyway because of people who go back to see all of the endings or whatever. It counts.
I guess.
It counts whatever stat you last picked in your game. So, like, if people chose something their first time playing and then chose something else their second time playing, the stats will only record that second statistic.
Right.
So it's not really representative of what people would really do anymore. But
I can't imagine that many people choosing to save what's her face, blue hair.
The blue-haired girl.
Blue-haired girl.
There are a couple people who would have. I personally
I think that's very imbalanced. Like an entire town,
well,
for one person.
It's kind of complicated to. There are a lot of things that can really add up to justifications for that. The biggest one being
if
that
90% of the town are criminals, I can see where you're the point.
Well,
but
that's the thing. Like, the biggest like argument in favor of that is that the town is basically owned by one family, the Prescotts, and the Prescotts are universally portrayed, like with the exception of one single person who apparently lives out of the country. The entire Prescott family is portrayed as evil and corrupt, and they practically own the entire town. Like,
well,
they
if I
can
know
do
for
whatever
a
they
fact
want.
that the Prescotts died in the hurricane, then maybe I can see that point.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the justifications that people use.
Okay.
Is that, like, the Prescotts have basically taken over the entire town. So leveling the thing and kind of making it restart from zero is kind of a necessary evil in some people's eyes. And also, of course, there's because the ending is so brief, like, there's no actual discussion of if people have gotten out of the town or not.
Yeah, and that's probably where the budget thing came in. They probably would have added those extra scenes.
Yeah. But yeah, so what was
I've been talking about 20 minutes of a game that's completely unrelated to Dark Souls.
Shit, man. Where was I going before that tangent about the
You began with, hey, let's talk about SJWs.
No, I didn't mean that far back.
Call this episode Life is Souls.
Yeah, Life is Dark Souls. Or Dark Souls is Strange. That's it.
Dark Souls is strange.
Yeah.
Call the previous episode Comic Books Are Strange.
Comic books are weird. Alright. Okay. Anyway, back to Dark Souls. What are we doing right now?
We're clearing this area.
Yeah. I like how we have these very complicated doors.
I see no
Denial.
practicality to these things.
Fantastic. I love the fact that was called Denial. It's so relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Were we just in a dead end, or?
No, there was stairs leading down. But this is... You have to find a button and then launch an arrow or a crossbow bolt at it to find this bonfire.
Sure.
So I think many people miss it. I know one person did, so yeah.
Was it you?
No, someone who's played maybe slightly less Dark Souls 2 than me, so I'm surprised that he missed it.
Only slightly.
Look at these guys. Dual wielding crossbows, who ever heard of that?
We did.
How do you even reload such a thing?
We were just dual wielding Avalons. Like.
Nah. Although we might see a I don't know if you remember this familiar face, but we will get invaded by a particular someone.
Is it Forlorn?
It's not Forlorn. First off, Forlorn isn't a character. It's like a faction.
I know. Oh, Jester Thomas.
Remember this guy? He helped us kill Medusa.
Oh, did
He
he?
was one of some of the NPCs, so now he's turned coat against us.
Because of course.
Not sure why.
It's
I mean,
the
I
nature
am
of Dark
beating his
Souls.
ass really easily.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be able to step to the Ultra Greatsword.
Nope, he's dual wielding Pyromancy Flame, so I have to dispose of him easily. Otherwise, he will wreck you. And do you notice how much health he had?
A lot.
Okay, so I don't know how many hits I dealt to him. Maybe like
Too
16
many.
or something, and then like
Oh.
each one did about 500 damage. So he had about 8,000 health.
Who are these saucy fellows?
These
They look
things
like-
are called imperfects.
They look like Dodongos.
Yeah, make of that what you will. So these things don't have eyes, so they might be blind.
Are they kind of like the spiritual successor to the demons in the Lost Izalith or Demon Ruins or whatever?
Maybe.
The ones that were in it from a design standpoint, literally just the legs of the undead dragon in
Yeah.
Painted World.
Yeah. I don't know if these things are.
Oh
the same.
god. Well, at least we got the bonfire.
Well, actually, those things, dragon asses, their actual names were bounding demons.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're related. So this bonfire is called Lair of the Imperfect.
So what is down here besides all of these Dodongos?
A bunch of items that I don't really care for because I don't want to deal with these guys.
Much like the bounding demons.
Yeah, well, I know the bounding demons, like, you can actually clear that area, that lava area, pretty easily. You just need to follow a faint path, and you can get all the items in the area. So.
Still, actually fighting them is a pain. Oh, hello.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So,
Much like the Pharaoh's
I actually
Lockstone.
don't remember where we got this item from, but I'm just gonna insert it into this giant disc
just had a dragon stone from somewhere. Maybe we got it from a dragon area, maybe.
Yeah. Raise these platforms.
Right after the dragon area, somewhere. I don't know. Something related to dragon. Why is there a dragon tablet in the Lair of the Imperfect? Are they dragons?
They might be like failed
dragons.
experiments or something. I don't know.
We're going all like World of Warcraft up in here with a dragon experimenting on other dragons to create shadow dragons, and it just fails.
Yeah. Hurrah for hole. Yeah. That just leads to nowhere.
Such hurrah.
And then I think we're just about to clear this DLC. This DLC actually took me a lot less time than what I expected.
Only
But
what, 2 episodes?
it's just one area left, and then we should clear this DLC.
What's the who's the boss? Is it a dragon?
Yeah, we haven't fought a boss yet. Yeah, I actually forgot about that.
How many bosses are there in like the DLCs in total? Like,
all the DLCs, they each have 3.
so how have we not fought any yet?
There's one. Okay, in this particular DLC, there's one boss immediately after another.
Ah, of course.
And then the other boss is like in a different area. Like in every DLC, there's like what the community has called a co-op area because they're such bull, So it's recommended you do it in co-op. And then at the end of each one, it's what is considered the optional boss for the DLC.
Right.
And you're gonna see it the most in this DLC in particular. All of the optional DLC bosses, they reuse some stuff that you've seen before.
Of
and
course.
So in the DLC 2 and 3, it's not that not that much. At least they changed it a little bit. But the optional boss in this DLC, it's like, no, they literally just took previous stuff and then just slapped it as a boss.
Fantastic.
So yeah, look forward to that.
I'll just run away from that guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh god, he's coming.
Yeah,
after us.
in each. Yeah, so each DLC is about 3 episodes each.
Sure.
One episode is going to be dedicated to the last bosses in each DLC. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do before. And then, so I know we haven't fought any bosses in this DLC yet, so I kind of have to save them for the 3rd episode for this DLC. So
we're setting our fire sword on fire.
Yeah, more fire, more damage.
That's clearly how it works.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how much damage it would actually increase it by, but it looks cooler at least.
They have poison lances. That's...
Yeah, this is the poison area. the poison DLC.
So apparently, the dragon only helped us once. That's a shame.
Yeah, he shows up once in this area and then that's it. He won't come back.
Unfortunate. Come on, poison lance guys. We don't want your... That's right. Oh,
they're healing.
What a jerk. Jeez. Yeah. All right. So we're finally going across this bridge.
Yeah, we're going to the area where so I'm going to be doing the what is essentially the co-op boss first before I actually do the real bosses in the DLC.
Are we doing him solo?
Of course not, because it's like actual. It's like it should not be done solo unless you're like a parry master or something.
What happens if you try to do it by yourself?
And get ready to get wrecked.
How many bosses would you say in this game, like, maybe not necessarily require, but heavily kind of encourage summoning?
No, it's just a spell.
No. How many bosses encourage summoning? Too many?
A lot.